Well, Vlad Macelaru is a protester and also a UN youth delegate. He joins me now from Bucharest. So it appears as if things were much more peaceful this time around than on Friday.
Hello. Yes, indeed. Today the protests were peaceful, unlike yesterday night.
And can you understand where the government is coming from? Because, for example, some of the protesters tried to storm government buildings.
Yes, that is true, and these protests have been built up over the past months, since the current government is trying to weaken the justice system and the rule of law in general. So overall, we have protests against the corrupt government.
But would you say that trying to enter a government building is justified under the circumstances?
No, I wouldn't say so, definitely, and I don't think that was the intent of the protesters. So most of the protesters were peaceful. I'm talking about 100 to 150,000, and maybe we had 50 instigators.
But what happens is those instigators taint the whole crowd. For example, there were those who were throwing bricks at the police, and the police felt that they had to respond.
Indeed, and typically the kind of response that we would expect from a task force would be to isolate the instigators and neutralize them. Instead, the task force decided to abuse everyone that was protesting peacefully. We're talking about kids, we're talking about women, elders, and so on. So I don't think that was the right response.
This government was democratically elected, wasn't it? So why do you want it to resign?
Basically, as I mentioned before, because they decriminalized low-level corruption offenses to their advantage, and also they're constantly working on weakening the justice system and pretty much ignoring the economy and the well-being of the country in general.
But why not wait for new elections instead of having what would end up being a very unstable situation?
Indeed, people are tensed, and we have protests, major protests since February last year, and people just don't feel represented, and they want the immediate resignation of the current government, as well as the resignation of Liviu Dragnea, the de facto ruler of the country, and the ruler of the ruling party, the Social Democrats.
Do you think there's an element of feeling that there are people who have come back from across Europe where they're probably living very good lives, coming to dictate to people back home in Romania how they should live their lives?
Well, it's a matter of 20% of the population of Romania is working abroad. And what the people want from this protest is basically to have a country where they can come back and live a peaceful life and be together with their families. So I just think that all the people that are coming from Europe and even across Europe, they're coming from the States as well. They would just like for the country to function in a proper way. They would like to have less corruption in Romania and just a peaceful and flourishing place to live their lives.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Vlad Macelaru, who's a youth organizer in Romania. Thanks for joining us. Much appreciated.